Good morning, guys. Hope you guys are all having a good Friday. It is 11 o'clock. Yes. So I planned on coming over here this morning and reading back some of the comments to you guys and responding to them and doing some shares, with some of the projects that I've done, and I probably will before the day's over with. But I got over here and got my coffee and sat down and started scrolling through some of the comments, and a few of them kind of stopped me in my tracks, and I was like, whoop, nope, let's just hold the phone. We're going to hit pause, and we're going to address. And that's kind of what I'm doing. So I will definitely try to come on here in a little while and, share the puzzle charms. They turned out beautiful. I'm really happy with those. But I want to kind of slow things down a little bit, and I want to respond to one person that's over here that I've started to see kind of a pattern from video to video. I haven't really mentioned it, but I feel like it's necessary to do so, especially after reading the last comment that was posted, I guess a couple of hours back or whatever, between yesterday and today. So before I get started on that, it just kind of stops me in my tracks. I don't want to come off in a negative light. I'm definitely not on the defense. But that's just the ups and downs of having a YouTube channel. So many people forget to be a person on YouTube. We come on here and we basically open up our lives to you guys every video that we make. Whether it is doing something with crafting, whether it is the personal conversations, the ups and the downs. And, when I started this channel, I had full intentions of just doing arts and crafts and, vlogging from day to day. And it was crazy random back then, as is crazy random as it could be today. You know what I mean? You never know what you're going to get over here. There's definitely been a lot of self-expression on this channel in the past, but you grow up and you move away from that, and you focus on what is important in your life. And, that's the pros and the cons of having a YouTube channel. Sometimes people are going to make comments that I don't think that they have the intentions of having such a harsh delivery. At the same time, I don't think that they understand what the impact is for the person that's over here on the receiving end. We open up our lives, we're coming on here, we're sharing things with you, and, there's feelings involved, just like it would be for you, if you watch something that kind of stopped you and made you go, wow, really? So that's kind of one of those moments I've had this morning. I'm like, wow, really? So, first off, I will say, thank you so much for being a part of the channel. Thank you so much for coming over and putting feedback on here. You guys, back in the earlier days when I had more time, it was easy for me to come on here and comment and make these videos and come in here and like personally type. But just the work schedule I have, it's just really hard. So I find it easier to just come on and just talk to everyone. Read the comments and talk that way. So, this is more addressed, as far as the journey that I'm on with Terry. Your comment here, I'm not going to mention any names. The comment is over here. If you want to read it, that's up to you. But this person says, what did Terry do to lose his visits? Must have been something huge. Sounds horrible being in prison. You never did say how much longer his sentence is. So happy you were doing well. Okay, it's not one of those questions that I avoid. I'm not going to avoid that question. It is one of those things where automatically people have the misconception, because he is in prison, that he has done something that's just so awful to lose his privileges. And the misconception with that is it doesn't take much to lose anything in there. They want to make your life a living hell in that place. They want your time to be hard. Anything that makes you happy, they take from you. They don't want you coming back. They don't want you coming back. So they're going to do everything they can to push your buttons and piss you off, and he lost his visits under the last place that he was at when he was put on protective management. Protective management is designed to protect an inmate from threat or harm. If there are threats made against their lives or they feel like their life has been threatened, they can go into protective management and they're under protection. There's also the downfall to that where you have other inmates that look at you as a weak person and they give you hell for doing it. You know what I mean? The other downside to protective management is, from what he's explained to me, you know, the guards don't like anyone that's on protective management. You have to understand there are people that are in there for, like, for an example, child molesters. They go in there. Child molesters in prison are considered scum of the earth. So for you to live in a place where you have someone that's harmed a child or harmed a person like that in that way, it's bad. It's really bad. You know, so it was one of those things where Terry just could not cope with being in there. And he made the decision to come out. And he had to fight them on that because to get in protection to begin with is a lot of paperwork and it's a lot of moving, you know, and it's a lot of work for the guards to do. So it's like, oh, so now you don't want to be in here, you know. There was a small altercation between him and one of the guards, and the guard pretty much retaliated against him, put it in the paperwork that he, you know, was going to lose his visits at the next place where he was transferred to. Because this guard did not follow protocol and take him to ICT, he can fight it and probably have it overturned because there's nothing in the paperwork for, you know, there's nothing that they said that he did that was serious enough for him to lose the visits to begin with. So I hope that that clears up your comment here of saying that it was something huge. No, that's the misconception. That doesn't take very much at all for you to lose your visits or lose your privileges. And you can ask any one of the prison wives or girlfriends, they will tell you it doesn't take much. Any bit of light that they have in there, they want it to be dark. You know what I mean? It's prison. They don't want you coming back. So then I went on and I read your other comment here. And I'm just going to pull out the parts that are here for Terry. You said, as far as Terry goes, you must seriously think about why his mail is being returned. No visitation for a year. Segregated in every prison he is in. Far from bad luck. I can tell you are starting to see a pattern. You were way too nice to get hurt after waiting years for him to be released. I would think he would do anything in his power to see you. Following rules would be one to start with. Okay. I'm going to break your question up here. Okay. To put such seriousness on why mail is being returned when I already know the answer to that. The pattern that you describe here is so far-fetched. There is no pattern. There is no pattern. In the prison system, they have certain rules on mail. And they do not like you to do any kind of artwork with crayon in it. I have the Prismacolor pencils, and I blended some of the pencil with the white pencil, and it made it look waxy, so they sent that back, okay? In every letter, for the last couple of letters, especially through holidays, I did a lot of colored art. So that will clear up your question here of why his mail is being returned. I broke rules. So I broke rules, so they send the mail back. It is what it is. No visitation for a year. I've already touched on that. Segregated. Listen, he is in prison. He has a lot of enemies in prison. He is not one to get into the gangs. He is not one to want to do the drugs. He's not one to get himself involved in anything that's going to add time to his sentence. So segregating yourself sometimes is the best thing to keep yourself alive. Okay? People, you don't understand it until you're on this, when you're walking through the days from one day to the next, like I have for over a year now with him, to really sit down and comprehend what it's like for a man that is serving a sentence that was a very, very harsh sentence to begin with, to have someone so humble, someone that fought for our country, someone that, you know, definitely didn't deserve a 15-year sentence for a first-time nonviolent offense of burglary. It's hard. It's hard to watch him go through the crap that he goes through in there. You You know, he's a strong-minded person. When I got with him, as far as friendships, he was getting in a lot of fights. He had to fight to survive. You are literally sheep among wolves in that place. In any camp that you go to, there are always going to be people that are going to manipulate you. They are going to take everything that you have. He's been robbed. He's been stabbed. He's had the hell beat out of him so many times. He had no choice but to fight back. You have to fight or flight. I mean, in prison, it is what it is. But to watch him have to go through everything that he's gone through in the time that I've known him in 5 years, it's bad. It's really bad. I don't open up that part of my life to you guys. I don't share his letters. I don't let you see what he sees in there. And I could write a book. I could clearly write a book of the things that he's described to me in there. You know, I don't understand where your description of a pattern here is. There's no pattern. There's no pattern. It's just the ins and outs. Maybe I've described more over here on the channel lately that makes you think that, but I disagree with you. I don't feel that it's a pattern at all. I'm not waiting for years for him to be released. This isn't a burden to me. This is someone that I love. This is someone that loves me. Unfortunately, we do not have the traditional relationship that you all have out here in the free world. But this is not one of those things where I'm just sitting around waiting like you're waiting on the phone to ring. This is someone that we are committed to each other 110%. We will see this through. This is a person that has never, not one time, disrespected me. This is someone that is more concerned of my well-being out here than his well-being in there. Okay? And it's hard to make people over here on YouTube understand that, you know, and we hear this all day long as prison girlfriends or wives or whatever title you guys want to give us. How can you do this? You know, don't waste your time, blah, blah, blah. It is no different than meeting someone out here in the free world. When you know that you have found that person, then you know, and not even prison walls can separate that. Not even prison walls can separate that. I appreciate so much your feedback, and I'm not trying to give you any kind of negativity back, but I promise you with every drop of me that I know that I'm on the right place. And I know that it's hard for people like you to understand that. So all I'm asking for you to do is expand your mind a little bit and just look at things through my eyes. This is what makes me happy. This is where I'm at in life, and this is where I'm going to continue. I don't have any fears. There are no fears. I'm a strong-minded person. If I had any fears or anything like that, I would get out of it. I would get out of it. Terry's a good guy. He just got served a bad deck of cards. You know what I mean? So other than that, I'm going to run out of time. I'm going to come back on and I'll make another video and respond to the rest of the comments. I hope this has cleared some things up for you. And, you know, you continue to be a part of the channel. So I love you guys, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. And this is something I will definitely touch on again when I have more time. So, all right, love you guys. Bye.